So, as you probably already know, Inanimate Insanity's 14th episode has been released to the public. It was a pretty great episode, and got hundreds of fans screaming when it premiered at the meetup. It also introduced us to a new character, Springy, a childhood serial mascot that ends up trying to take over the show. Obviously, this doesn't happen. But I can't shake the feeling that there's something bigger going on with him. As I watched the episode more and more times, I believe that his intentions were far more ambitious than they seemed, and how he may actually not be that evil as depicted in the episode. That's right, I think that Springy is actually being controlled by none other than Steve Cobs, the main antagonist of the whole show. I'll be talking about their similar mannerisms, his true intentions, and how all of this happened in the first place. With that being said, let's dive deeper into this theory. As I have already mentioned, Springy and Cobs have similar ways of speaking, similar motivations, and similar knowledge about the show. Both characters talk about how the past doesn't matter, and that only the future is important.
4? As in me phone 4? That's so old.
The one and only 4.
It's just so yesterday. Unacceptable.
These fellas can't spring to the top of the game if their past send them falling down.
Both of these quotes are worded differently, yet they have the same meaning, a vital clue into the connection between these two. Moving on to their motivations, they're both trying to take control of Inanimate Insanity, possibly even the world as well.
Oh, that? You can keep that measly cure. You can keep that egg, too. It's just the beginning, and I'll be in control soon enough. It's only a matter of time.
Oh, think about the improvements we can make to your cast. Oh, it'll be great.
You can see from these clips that their motivations are clear, and they have tried and failed to succeed in them. Arguably the most important piece of evidence for their connection is their extensive knowledge of the show. We know from Season 2's episode, Mind Your Own Business, that Cobs built Adam to stay in control of Me Phone's show. Adam has been around since Season 1, so it makes sense that Cobs would be familiar about things like the elimination order and the emotional alliances that the contestants have with each other. Springy knows about all of these things too, as the challenges in his cereal boxes involve finding the elimination order of each season. And he creates robotic toys of contestants to taunt those whose relationships have been broken with the replica contestant. It should also be noted that Springy's flying cereal boxes are like spaceships, and we know from episodes 13 and 14 of Season 2 that Cobs had always wanted a spaceship.
By the end of the day, I'm expecting a spaceship.
He always wanted a spaceship.
Anyway, that's all for this segment. Let's now talk about what their bigger, more ambitious intentions were for the show. Let's investigate Springy's behavior closely so we can see what he and Cobs were really planning. At first glance at the episode, it seems that Springy was going to capture Bot in order to make robotic replicas of them and use them as an army against Me Phone.
And, of course, to process your unique and advanced design to make an intelligent line of replica toys! Toys? Indeed! Toys! Like my toy replicas of your friends! We're very proud of our products. But with you as our direct reference, oh, they can be so much more.
But on closer inspection, I think it goes deeper than that. Perhaps the robotic army was not going to be used by Springy, but by Cobs instead. I believe that while watching the show, Cobs had seen how functional and reliable Bot was as a robot and had realized that he could use them for his plan of world domination. So he would use Springy to blind Me Phone with childhood nostalgia and manipulate him in order to steal Bot for his own. Springy would propose a sponsorship deal with Inanimate Insanity, and Cobs would build the challenges for the episode, which were specifically rigged to make Bot win. The two contestants who had the most conflict with each other would be placed in the same room, and slow their progress down by bickering in order to ensure Bot wins the challenge. Meanwhile, Bot would be placed with Cabby, who has only had little conflict with her. Once Bot wins, they would be sent to Meeple, where Cobs would investigate how Bot works and reverse engineer them and use their technology to build more powerful Mephones. Then the Mephones would be used to do what the original intention was: harness the Prime Shimmer's light for power. We know from past Mephones that Cobs built that they're not always the most reliable. They keep glitching out, disobeying him, and not being very reliable to work with. So in order to build the perfect Mephone army, he would need the best technology available, and that's why he chose Bot. We also know that Cobs had built a Mephone army before in the past. It is told to us in hatching the plan that he used the 3 GSs to harness the Prime Shimmer's light in order to harness their power, and when they retaliated, they stole their children. But only 2 were stolen in the process. I also want to point out the similarities between Bot and the baby Shimmer. They were both raised by Fen and Test Tube, are both Athams, and their color scheme is similar. Perhaps this is a subtle hint by the creators that just like how the baby Shimmer was going to be stolen and be used to create more powerful technology, Bot was also going to have a similar fate as well if she had gotten in the hands of Meeple. Anyways, while this is a very broad piece of speculation, you might be asking, how did Springy get involved with Cobs in the first place? Well, that's what we're going to be talking about next. You'll see.